everyone, and a huge welcome back to English in a Snap. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. It is the grand finale, day 5 of our incredible 5-day native phrases challenge. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Wow, we actually made it, day 5. This is it, the final day. Honestly, I feel like my English has had a major glow up thanks to these last 4 days. Seriously.
Haha, a glow up. See? You're already using the language. That's amazing. And yes, we did make it. Days 1 through 4, we covered, what, 70 phrases?
70. Yeah, my brain is full, but like in a good way.
Exactly. And today, for the grand finale, day 5, we are tackling 30 more phrases. And these are, let's say, ultra-native phrases, the kind of stuff you hear constantly, especially, online on social media. These are phrases we actually use, things we hear our friends say every single day.
Okay, ultra-native.
Right.
I like the sound of that. So this is the final boss level.
Kind of. By the end of today, you listening will have 100 native phrases in your toolkit.
Yeah.
We're hitting that goal.
100. That sounds incredible. Let's do it.
These final 30 are really the icing on the cake. They'll help you understand more current conversations and sound really authentically native. Ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Or ready since day 1. Let's go.
Okay. Phrase number 1 for our finale. Glitch in the Matrix.
Glitch in the Matrix. Okay, like the movie with Keanu Reeves.
Exactly like the movie. It's used when something really weird or unexplainable happens, like a strange coincidence, or you see the exact same person twice in a row, like deja vu, but maybe stranger.
Ah, okay, so if I saw a cat walk past and then the exact same cat walk past again straight away, that's a glitch.
That is a perfect example. Totally a glitch in the Matrix. You got it. So let's say it together. Glitch in the Matrix.
Glitch in the Matrix. Cool.
All right, number 2, jump the shark.
Jump the shark. Like Flipper, the dolphin.
Not quite. It actually comes from an old TV show, Happy Days, where a character literally jumped over a shark on water skis. It means the moment when something usually like a TV show, maybe a trend, starts to decline in quality, it becomes, a bit ridiculous or unbelievable. It's gone too far.
Oh, right. So if our favorite series suddenly had aliens landing in season 7 for no reason, it jumps the shark.
Exactly. That show definitely jumped the shark. Perfect. Let's say it. Jump the shark.
Jump the shark. Okay, I see.
Number 3, this ain't my first rodeo.
Rodeo. Like cowboys and horses. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, it's a metaphor. It means I'm not new at this, or I have experience with this kind of situation. You say it when someone maybe underestimates you, or you want to show you know what you're doing.
Ah, okay. So if my boss explains something really basic to me, I could say, don't worry, this ain't my first rodeo, to show I know it already.
Yes, exactly that. It shows confidence and experience. Perfect use. Let's repeat. This ain't my first rodeo.
This ain't my first rodeo. Got it.
Okay, next up, number 4, throw shade.
Throw shade. Like standing under a tree, blocking the sun.
Haha, no, not literal shade. Throwing shade means publicly criticizing or expressing contempt for someone, but usually in a subtle or indirect way. It's a bit passive-aggressive sometimes.
Ooh, okay. So it's like an insult, but hidden. Like saying, oh, I love your outfit. It's very brave.
Bingo. That is classic shade right there. You're saying something critical, but not directly. Let's say it. Throw shade.
Throw shade. Okay, watch out, world.
Yeah.
Joking tone.
Number 5 is a classic. Fake it till you make it.
This one I think I know. It means pretend you are confident or pretend you know what you're doing until you actually feel confident or know it.
You got it. That's exactly it. It's about acting the part until it becomes real. It's often used for job interviews or starting something new where you feel a bit unsure.
Right. So on day 1 of this challenge, maybe I was faking it a bit, but now I'm making it.
Haha, exactly. Perfect example. You faked it till you made it. Let's repeat. Fake it till you make it.
Take it till you make it.
Okay, number 6. That's on brand.
On brand. Like a company logo.
Sort of. It means that something someone does or says is very typical of their personality, their style, or their public image, their brand. It fits them perfectly.
Okay, so if our friend who always wears pink buys another pink sweater, we say, that's so on brand for her.
Yes, that is perfectly on brand for her. It's exactly what you'd expect. Great example. Let's say it. That's on brand.
That's on brand. Cool.
Number 7. You hear this online a lot. Let them cook.
Cook. Like making dinner. Are they hungry?
Haha, no. It means let someone do their thing. Don't interfere. Don't rush them. Just let them concentrate and work on whatever they're doing, especially if they seem to know what they're doing or have a plan.
Okay. Yeah. So if someone is really focused on solving a problem, I shouldn't interrupt. I should just let them cook.
Exactly. Let them focus, let them figure it out, let them cook. Let's repeat, let them cook.
Let them cook. Got it. Don't bother the chef.
Number 8 is touch grass.
Touch grass, like go outside. To the park.
Yes, that's literally what it means, but it's used figuratively. You tell someone to touch grass when they seem way too focused on online drama, video games, or something very niche and digital. It means get back to reality, basically.
Oh, because my friend is arguing about like a movie theory online for hours. I can say, dude, you need to touch grass.
Precisely. It's a way of saying get some perspective, go outside, reconnect with the real world. Let's say it. Touch grass.
Touch grass. Haha, I like that one.
Okay, number 9. It's a canon event.
Canon, like a big gun, or like the official story in Star Wars?
This second one, exactly. It comes from, like, fan fiction and stories. A canon event is something that have to happen in someone's story or life path. It's unavoidable, often a difficult experience that shapes who they become. It's meant to happen.
Whoa, okay. So, like, a really embarrassing moment from my teenage years, that was maybe a canon event. It had to happen to make me who I am.
Exactly. Or maybe a really tough breakup or failing at something important. It's like, I can't interfere. It's a canon event. You hear it a lot on TikTok, often humorously, about minor inconveniences too. Let's repeat. It's a canon event.
It's a canon event. Deep.
Okay, number 10 is very internet-y. Delulu is the solulu.
Delulu. Solulu. What is that? Sounds like a cartoon.
Haha, it does. Delulu is short for delusional, like believing things that aren't true, and solulu is short for solution. So delulu is the solulu means sometimes being a little bit delusional or overly optimistic is the solution to dealing with problems or achieving things. It's very tongue-in-cheek, kind of joking.
Okay. So if I'm dreaming of becoming a famous singer, even though I can't really sing, maybe believing it will happen is the solution. Delulu is the solulu.
Exactly. You're embracing the slightly crazy belief as the way forward. It's usually said humorously about unrealistic hopes. Let's say it. Delulu is the solulu.
Delulu is the solulu. This is wild.
Yeah, number 11, riz someone up.
Riz. R-I-Z-Z. What's riz?
Riz is like charisma, charm, especially romantic charm, your ability to attract someone. So to riz someone up means to successfully charm or flirt with them.
Ah, okay. So it's like having game. Like if my friend successfully gets a date with someone they like, they riz them up.
Yes. They use their riz, they riz them up. You got it. Let's repeat. Riz someone up.
Riz someone up. Okay, need to work on my riz then.
Number 12, we stan a she, you fill in the blank.
Stand out. Like Stan from accounting.
Oh, no. Stan comes from an Eminem song, actually. It means being a really big, supportive fan of someone or something, like an obsessive fan. But now it's used more generally to show strong support or admiration. So you'd say, we stan a queen, or we stan a legend, or we stan this friendship. It means we really love and support this person or thing.
Oh, okay. So if we really admire someone for being honest, we could say, we stan an honest queen.
Perfect. Exactly. You're showing strong approval and support. Let's say it. We stan it.
We stand a stand as Dan this challenge.
Okay, number 13. It's giving NPC energy.
NPC, like non-player character. In a video game.
Exactly. An NPC is a character in a game who just repeats the same lines or actions, doesn't seem to think for themselves. So saying someone has NPC energy means they seem robotic, lack originality, or are just kind of blandly going through the motions without real thought or personality.
Ouch. Okay, so if someone just gives, like, really generic answers to everything,
Right.
they're giving NPC energy.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a bit of an insult, suggesting they're not acting like a unique individual, let's say it. It's giving NPC energy.
It's giving NPC energy. Got it. Don't be an NPC.
Number 14 is often shortened, but the full phrase is slay the house down, or just slay.
Slay. I hear this everywhere. It means, like,
Yeah.
you did amazing. You look amazing.
Yes. Exactly. Slay means you did something incredibly well, you look fantastic, you absolutely nailed it. Slay the house down is just a more emphatic version, it's high praise.
Okay, so if my friend gives an amazing presentation, I just shout, slay.
Totally. Or if they have an amazing outfit on, slay. Perfect. Let's repeat. Slay. Or slay the house down. Slay. Okay, I'm going to use this one.
Number 15. I'm deceased. Or sometimes, I'm dead.
Dead. Deceased. Like, actually. That sounds serious.
No, not literally. It's hyperbole. It means something is so funny, so shocking, or so amazing that you're figuratively dying from laughter or astonishment.
Oh, okay. So if someone tells a hilarious joke, I can say, oh my God, I'm deceased.
Exactly. It just means that's incredibly funny. Or I can't handle how funny, shocking that is.
Yeah,
Let's say it. I'm deceased.
I'm deceased. Okay. Good to know it's not literal.
16. Rot in bed.
Rot. Like old fruit. That sounds unpleasant.
It sounds gross, but it's kind of embraced now. Rotting in bed means spending a long time in bed, usually on your phone or watching things, doing nothing productive, just relaxing, or maybe recovering. It's like unapologetic lazy time.
Oh, so it's not actually negative. Like if I spend all Sunday watching movies in bed, I'm rotting in bed, and it's okay.
Exactly. It's like self-care almost, just chilling, scrolling, snacking, rotting. People talk about their bed rot days. Let's say it, rot in bed. Rot in bed. Huh. Okay, maybe I'll try some bed rotting this weekend.
17. Mid.
Mid, like,
Middle.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
It's slang for mediocre, average, unimpressive, just, okay. Not good, not bad, just mid.
Ah, okay. So if we watch a movie and it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either, it was just mid.
Perfect. That movie was mid. It's used a lot to describe things that are maybe overhyped but turn out to be disappointing, or just average. Let's say it mid.
Mid. Okay. Simple but useful.
18.
Aura points.
Aura, like the energy field around someone. Points, like in a game.
Exactly. It's kind of a playful online concept. Someone gains or loses aura points based on how cool, impressive, or sometimes how strangely specific their actions are. Doing something effortlessly cool gains aura points. Doing something awkward might lose them.
Okay, this is abstract. So like if I perfectly parallel park my car in one move, I get aura points. But if I trip on the curb walking away, I lose them.
Yes, exactly. You're totally getting the vibe. It's a funny way to judge minor social wins and fails. Let's say it. Aura points.
Aura points. Okay, need to protect my aura.
19. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner. So, dinner only for girls.
Not necessarily. It refers to a specific type of meal, usually eaten by women, but anyone can have it. It's typically a low-effort, eclectic mix of snacks, side dishes, or random bits of food assembled together instead of a proper cooked meal. Think like some cheese, crackers, pickles, maybe some fruit, some leftover something.
Okay, so like a plate of random snacks instead of cooking. That's girl dinner. I think I have that sometimes.
Totally. It's that slightly chaotic no-cook assembly meal. It became a huge trend. Let's say it. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner, love it.
20. Ick, or the ick.
Ick, like yuck, gross.
Yes, exactly. The ick is that sudden feeling of disgust or cringe you get about someone you were previously attracted to. It's often triggered by a small, specific, and sometimes weird habit or mannerism they have. Once you get the ick, it's hard to go back.
Whoa. Okay, so you could be dating someone, everything's fine, then they chew loudly, and suddenly you get the ick.
Yeah.
And you can't like them anymore.
Pretty much. It can be that sudden and seemingly irrational. It's that specific turn-off feeling. Let's say it. The ick.
The ick. Okay, hope I don't give anyone the ick.
21. No cap.
No cap. Like, don't wear a hat.
Haha, nope. Cap is slang for a lie or exaggeration. So, no cap means no lie. I'm being serious. For real. You add it to the end of a statement to emphasize you're telling the truth.
Okay, so if I say, this challenge was amazing, no cap, it means I'm serious.
Exactly. You're emphasizing your sincerity. Perfect use. Let's say it. No cap.
No cap.
22. Ate. Or she ate that.
Ate. Like, finished her food.
Similar vibe to slay, actually. To say someone ate or ate that means they did an absolutely fantastic job. They performed incredibly well. They looked amazing. They consumed the challenge. Left no crumbs.
Okay, so it's like slay, but maybe more comprehensive. Like they didn't just do well, they dominated it. If someone gives an incredible performance, wow, she really ate that.
Exactly. That's the perfect feeling. They didn't just do it, they ate. Let's say it.
Ate. Okay, another one to add to my praise list.
23. Be so for real. Often shortened online to BFFR.
Be so for real. BFFR. Like, be serious. Stop kidding.
Yes, exactly. It's an expression of disbelief or exasperation. You say it when someone says or does something ridiculous, unbelievable, or annoying. It's like saying, are you serious right now? Or get real.
Okay, so if my friend says they're going to learn fluent Japanese in 1 week, I can say, be so for real.
Definitely. That's a perfect time to say BFFR or be so for real. Let's say it. Be so for real.
Be so for real. BFFR.
Got it.
24. Goat. Spelled G-O-A-T.
Goat. Like the animal. Ba.
Haha. It looks like it, but it's an acronym. G-O-A-T stands for greatest of all time. It's used to describe someone who is considered the absolute best ever in their field, usually sports, but can be music, anything.
Okay, so like people argue about whether Michael Jordan or LeBron James is the GOAT in basketball.
Exactly that. That's the classic GOAT debate. Let's say it. GOAT. Greatest of all time.
GOAT. Right. Not the animal.
25. Lit.
Yeah.
Lit.
Yeah.
Like past tense of light, like a pandal.
It used to mean drunk a long time ago, but now lit means something is really cool, exciting, fun, or excellent. Like, that party was lit.
Oh, okay. So it just means amazing or fun. This playlist is lit.
Yes, exactly. That's a perfect use. It's high energy, fun. Let's say it. Lit.
Lit. 26?
Glow up. You used this earlier.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
It means like a big improvement in appearance, confidence, or style, right? Like transforming for the better.
You absolutely nailed it. A glow up is a positive transformation, usually over time. Could be looks, career, mindset, anything.
Nice. So my English had a glow up this week.
It definitely did. Let's repeat. Glow up.
Glow up.
27, 5 check.
Vibe check. Checking. The feeling. The atmosphere.
Exactly. A vibe check is assessing the general mood, atmosphere, or the intuitive feeling you get from a person, place, or situation. Sometimes people will jokingly say vibe check and do something silly to gauge reactions.
Okay. So before going into a party, I might do a quick vibe check at the door, see what the energy feels like.
Perfect example. Or you might say about a person, they failed the vibe check, meaning you got a bad feeling from them. Let's say it. Vibe check.
Vibe check. Got it.
28. Sus.
Sus. Short for suspicious. Suspect.
You got it. Sus is just short for suspicious. It means something seems shady, dishonest, or just off. It got really popular because of the game Among Us, but it's used everywhere now.
Ah, okay. So if someone is acting weirdly quiet, I might think, that's a bit sus.
Exactly. Or that story sounds sus. You're just flagging something as potentially suspicious. Let's say it. Sus.
Sus.
29. Extra.
Extra. Like more than needed.
Yes, but applied to a person's behavior. Someone who is extra is overly dramatic, over the top, trying too hard, or just doing way more than necessary in a situation. It can be affectionate or critical.
Okay, so if my friend wears like a ball gown to go grocery shopping, that's a bit extra.
Haha, yes, that is definitely extra. Perfect example. Let's say it extra.
Extra.
And our final phrase, number 30 for day 5, number 100 overall, fit check.
Fit check. Checking.clothes.
Exactly. Fit is slang for outfit, so a fit check is literally checking out or showing off your outfit. People often post fit check videos or photos online to display what they're wearing.
Oh, okay. So if I put on a nice outfit, I might ask my friend, quick fit check.
Yeah.
To see how it looks. Or post a picture saying fit check.
Yes. Both are perfect uses. It's all about the outfit. Let's say it. Fit check.
Fit check. Wow.
And that's it. 30 phrases today, which means
100 phrases in 5 days. We did it. No cap.
we absolutely did. How are you feeling after all that? Ready to use some riz and check some vibes?
Definitely feeling less sus about my English now.
Eh.
Maybe still a bit Delulu about being fluent tomorrow, but hey, that's the solulu, right?
Haha, exactly. You totally ate this challenge.
Okay.
Seriously, though, congratulations to you, Alex, and huge congratulations to everyone listening who followed along for these 5 days.
Yeah, amazing job, everyone. It was lit. My brain feels bigger.
That's the goal. You've learned so many phrases that native speakers actually use. The key now, just like we said before, is to listen for them. Try them out. Don't be afraid to be a little extra.
Yeah, fake it till you make it, right? Even with the slang. It's been so much fun.
It really has. So keep listening, keep practicing, notice the vibes, see what's on brand, and definitely don't let anyone give you the ick when you try out your new phrases.
Will do. Thanks, Sarah, and thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll talk to you soon on English in a Snap. Bye.
Bye, everyone.